The Klaxosaurs are coming, and Ichigo slaps the hell out of Zero 2. Oh, the drama, oh, the angst, oh, the sexual tension. It was another ridiculous episode of Darling in the Franxx, an episode which delved a little bit more into how Ichigo is feeling about the fact that Hiro and Zero 2 are going to be shacking it up together in Strelezia as they go up against a massive army of Klaxosaurs, which is about to attack their massive plantations while they are kissing each other. Kissing, not like literally, they're transferring magma to one another so that they can power themselves up, but this is going to attract all of these big giant black and blue monsters, so we're going to get to see a ton of robots fighting against them, presumably in the next episode of the series. This episode right here is really just more characterization, getting to see how all of the young pistils and stamens are warming up to Hiro actually being a part of their group and accepting the fact that he could potentially be their leader. But most of the drama in this episode comes from the fact that Hiro, despite the fact that it seems like he's perfectly compatible with Zero 2, is actually suffering from some pretty nasty side effects, like giant bulges of blue disgustingness emanating from his chest for absolutely no reason. It looks incredibly sickening and like something out of a Resident Evil video game, but Zero 2 thinks it looks pretty beautiful, but that's mostly because she wants to jump Hiro. Really though, this episode right here is all about Ichigo accepting the fact that she has been fully rejected here, and there's nothing that she's going to do to be able to pull away Hiro from Zero 2, and that they are perfectly compatible, no matter how angry she gets, no matter how many times she decides to randomly slap her in the face and bring upon the wrath of Zero 2. Easily the best thing about this episode was that scene where Ichigo got really mad at her and got pissed off over the fact that it seemed like Zero 2 wouldn't care if Hiro actually died after piloting a third time, so she just slaps her in the face and calls her a monster, which leads to a great scene of her eyes beginning to glow red, and even her horns began to glow. Without a doubt, this is probably one of my favorite visuals from the entire series, and for a show with giant monsters and robots, that's a pretty big accomplishment. I loved this moment, especially because Ichigo finally realized there's not really much more she can do. She just has to accept things for what they are. We also have her partner Goro, who's going through some tough things with Hiro as well, as he actually knows what's going on with him. He knows that he's suffering from this damage and this weird massive bulge on his chest, and he realizes that if he gets into that frickin' robot one more time, he could die, but Hiro continues to just stand forward and not allow Goro to get in his way. The other characters in the episode, for the most part, don't get that much screen time and just continue to reinforce their quirks that we've seen in the previous episodes. It looks like we're going to go character by character, episode basis for a lot of these things. Although there was a nice moment between Kokoro, the super cute and nice girl, talking with Mitsuru, I believe that's what his name was, I'm probably butchering it to be perfectly honest, who's still feeling pretty crappy about the fact that he was a dick when he rode with Zero 2 a couple of episodes ago. So, again, he has a lot to learn. But the craziest part about this episode is the revelation that we're going to see more Franxx pilots. We're going to see more pistols and stamens and crazy-looking robots. At least that's what I'm leading myself to believe, because these different plantations have these different groups, and of course they have different soldiers. So we're going to just to see them probably team up with them when we go up against this Klaxosaur force in the next couple of episodes, and these guys are completely different from the kids here. They don't seem as pampered. They seem a lot more shell-shocked, like they've seen a lot of crazy shit, and when they see Zero 2, they're not too happy at all, as apparently she's responsible for a lot of their comrades actually dying, including one guy whose partner was killed because of Zero 2. But of course her cold personality does not mix well with any of this, and she comes across as very unempathetic, basically. She does not care what they have to say. And of course, a lot of that is the par for the course of Zero 2 in this episode. Whenever she's confronted by people, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters to her is that she gets to pilot with Hiro, and by the end of the episode, she even knows that he has the damage on his body, but she still continues to push him forward to pilot it. I have a feeling something really crazy is actually going to end up happening the third time that they pilot, and he might even go through some sort of crazy transformation, but more on that in the rundown of this week's episode of Darling in the Franxx. Another pretty good episode, still not completely blowing me away like some of the other Trigger anime series that I've seen. Still, though, some pretty great moments right here. What I think I loved most about this episode is that Hiro is starting to become a little more fleshed out. like, I still think he's kind of a boring main character, but now he has a lot more of a conflict with the fact that he could potentially die, and getting to see him sort of just, like, ignorantly continuing to move forward with it. I want to see where this is going to go. I can't wait to see if this is going to build upon his relationship with Zero Two in a really interesting and fascinating way, especially with this giant blue growth going over his body. I also love the little details in the episode about the fact that his temperature has been rising, and that makes sense because Zero Two herself is half Klaxosaur. She has, like, magma basically running through her veins, so to speak. And, of course, we all know magma's pretty friggin' hot, so basically during their piloting sessions, he's somehow been imbued with a little bit of her life force in a way, and basically he's sort of becoming half Klaxosaur as well. And basically I think that this is his body, like, learning to try and adapt to all of that. And I'm guessing the third time is probably going to be that moment where he becomes very much like Zero Two. I think a nice little twist would be seeing him maybe even grow horns. They could even do the whole red and blue thing too, blue horns. I think that would be pretty cool. That's just speculation on my part, but I think it would be something that would be kind of cool to see. Really though, this episode did a great job of showing us more of this kind of confusing world too, about how there are all these humans who are living in these massive structures which rely on each other to, you know, give each other resources and stuff. And of course, they love using the metaphors of things. They're kissing. They're kissing because they're touching. That's basically all that's going on. Really, though, this was a good episode. It wasn't my favorite episode of the series. Of course, I wanted a little more action because that's something that Trigger definitely specializes in. But they also want to tell a good story. And if they can make me care about these characters, those action scenes are going to be a lot more impactful. So I do like this episode quite a bit. It wasn't exactly perfect in my opinion. A lot of this stuff is retreads, and I do think that it is moving just maybe a tad slow. That being said, great episode right here. 4 out of 5 from me. Make sure to check it out, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it if you watched it. Tell me all of them in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. I'll see you guys next time. And as always, stay damn, baby.